Hello everybody and welcome to another final episode of the Fall of Faerun, our Forgotten Realms D&D 5e apocalyptic crusade that has spanned the length of the Sword Coast, pretty much, from Waterdeep now to far northerly Neverwinter. So, what's happened? Zombies, death, all that good stuff. What will happen? We don't know. The dice are going to decide where we go from here. I will tell you this. We have 4 people that started this journey that have made it through the Meatgrinder to this moment. We have somebody that survived the dreaded D&D Fall of Faerun ejection seat in a second episode. I will also tell you this. Help is not coming. The 5 characters that you are about to meet for the final time are the only 5 that will take part in this final episode. Everybody that's on deck, all the additional help, the cavalry is not coming. So, what does that mean? It means that once we lose somebody, we lose them. 5 can guard. It's harder for 4, nearly impossible for 3. And so on and so on. The good news is, all of the children are safe. Mother is safe. They have made it. Neverwinter is in sight. The bad news is Neverwinter is burning. The worst news is the Horde is right behind them. But, as this is a fantasy setting of epic proportion, and as I have had a group that has made the impossible possible, we're going to give them a moment to talk to one another. I'm giving them a short rest, your benevolent DM. And then things begin. And once they begin, legions sit back and watch. Partake if you will with the donations below, but this is the final ride of this group, at least for this moment in time. But before we begin, give them all a round of applause for getting through, I would like to think, a pretty hefty Meatgrinder, and also give yourselves a round of applause as the Legion has lent a helping hand on many occasions. But this is not my story to tell. It is the story of 5 heroes, the children they are protecting, and the being they call Mother. And for the last time, let us bring in our heroes. Welcome back, everybody. We have a long way to go and a short time to get there. But, as we always do, tell us who you'll be playing. Tell us what they're fighting for and what you plan to do now that we're in the final moments of the end of the world. Jason, let's start with you, my friend. How are you doing?
Apprehensive at best. Stressed because we weren't supposed to be here right now, but it is what it is. I don't ever put anything past you, because as stressful as last episode was, I'm sure this is going to be much worse. So always have high hopes. I'm very thankful for your sudden turn of benevolence, sir, with the short rests, as I'm sure Aspen and Veneris are. But yeah, hopefully we can get these little regrets rest of the way. So see what happens.
Sorry, I was replying to the deputy who was absolutely correct. You should have gone west. Let's go right down to Jordan. Jordan, my friend, Veneris has been in some pretty interesting situations. A cellar full of undead, trapped beneath the streets, and yet still he flies. How are you? Are you ready for the end of the world? And what does Veneris intend to do?
I am so ready, so excited to be here. This has been a wild ride, and I am so thankful that I got to be a part of this amazing journey from the get-go. Veneris's plan is to stick with his family to make sure that they are able to get to safety no matter the cost.
No matter the cost, you say? Well, how very endgame of you, which is where, of course, we are. Auntie, you are still in the ejection seat. You have made it longer than any being has thus far. You are in the endgame now. Auntie, what is Dex gonna do? How's the end of the world gonna treat our little friend? And, how you feeling?
Like Jason, very apprehensive because I'm just a little kobold in a really big, really deadly world. Mind you, the multi-class into wizard helps, but not a whole lot. But hey, it's better than nothing. But if it's him or his family, he's gonna die for his family if he has to.
I absolutely love the fact that, and I put this up on the Twitter, that, and it might have sounded sarcastic when I said that, I have a group that's willing to die for one another. What else could a DM ask for? I did not mean it to sound nefarious at all. I'm simply mean, if you're a lover of the story, what more can you ask of a group of players than those willing to sacrifice a character that they hold dear for someone else's character? That is the stuff of legends. Let's tell one now. Speaking of legends, Audrey, how are you, my friend? Aspen has been through, pardon my French, but the shit, and they are at the end. What are they thinking, and how do they intend to deal with this final leg of the apocalypse?
Aspen is still hopeful. Not necessarily for themselves. I think they're running out of that hope exactly, but hopeful that the children will survive, will be happy again. That's what they're fighting for, and that's what they will always put themselves in between the children and danger.
Okay, so I get a t-shirt moment from every session that I run. I always think of the moment that I would make a t-shirt out of, or a bumper sticker or something like that. And so far, I'm pretty sure that Aspen, Champion of Happiness, is something that might win the day. Speaking about winning the day, and with a little help from our resident Legion bard Prax, who has just bestowed inspiration upon Zeph, let us talk to our friend, my companion in the creative group of Tales from the Grim, Lauren. Lauren, how are you? How is Zeph, other than inspired? And how is she ready to handle this last leg of the apocalypse?
Feeling good, Greg. Feeling cheeky, but that's kind of my de facto attitude. Zeph is feeling almost as completely unsure of everything as she did when she started. Maybe a little more confident in herself, but mostly tired. And god damn it, we better get all these kids out of here alive, or someone's going to be in trouble. I don't know who, but I think he wears a hat.
I was going to say, if you don't know who, I sure as hell do. It's me, everybody. And with that being said, I'm going to step outside of the DM spot and take my place amongst the rest of the Legion for a moment, because a Legionnaire is exactly what I am. And in this particular group, with this particular 6-week stretch that we've had, I have had a ton of fun. And that is a fantastic thing for a DM. Going forward, this is a very, very difficult stretch. I expected this to be a Meatgrinder with a rotating cast. I expressed this to everybody you see around you. That did not happen, much to my happiness, that we had this great story that was told despite the Meatgrinder aspects. This is a tough one, but know that of all the Legion cheering, I'll be keeping it inside, but I will be cheering the loudest. And so with that, the scene is set as follows. You have just come through the broken land that the dwarf Gunamon Minehide has negotiated you through. The land is pitched and torn. It looks much like an ocean would, frozen with rock and dirt. It is uneven. It is hard to negotiate, except for these few paths linked by yellow twine that the dwarf has left behind. The dwarf has told you a couple things. An air of insanity kind of rings around his frame. He seems to want to be the last person out of the land of the living, and he continues to follow you as the last person through. But you have had a bit of a respite as Neverwinter has appeared in sight. It's still a good mile off, but as you're sitting there and watching, there isn't any pursuit. There's a dust cloud behind you. You know the Horde is there, but they are not apparent. They are not visible. So, as discussed before we started, you all took a moment to pause, using hit dice to bulk yourselves back up for this final stretch of this marathon race. And I will tell you all this, as I give your story back to you, I will simply tell you, you have 10 minutes. Make it count.
As they rest, Dex is going to approach Zeph. Yeah, he's gonna take a look around for any kids and then just say, "Okay, holy shit, that was really fucking cool! Like what you did with that dragon, and then you saved me and Cancan, and like, holy shit, that was awesome! Thank you."
It was the other way around. I saved you and Ken first, and then it doesn't matter. It's pointless to point out. I'm just awkward.
I mean, so am I. I'm not used to dealing with people. People are out during the day, and I hate the day. But still, like, you saved Benares. You saved us. I just wish I could do half of what you could do. And I just wanted to thank you for that, and for keeping all the kids safe when I was too scared to.
This is really weird because people usually don't acknowledge my contributions. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
And it's fine to be scared. It's scary.
It is. Just that's all I wanted to say. That rest well. It looks like he looks over towards Neverwinter. Looks like you might have to do more of that.
Oh yeah, I have plans. I mean, I say that, but I really never know until right in the moment. But I have options. It's not like studying. It's like thinking, ooh, what element do I want to fuck with today? And
yeah, no, I get that. Spur of the moment.
Yeah.
That's life. That's life. All right, well, I hope to see you on the other side.
You too.
And he'll walk away.
Zeph is going to first find Veneris. I don't know if they've talked yet. And then when she finds him, she just starts hitting him on the head. Stupid.
I'm sorry. I didn't know what to do.
Not get eaten?
I was just trying to do what Aspen does.
Die?
No, be brave.
Aspen, oh. Aspen is very brave.
Aspen is very brave. I will try not to be stupid.
I mean, being stupid is sometimes good. I just was worried.
Veneris pulls Zeph into a massive hug.
Oh, you know,
Back for me.
Well, technically, I never left.
Okay, that's true. I mean, you used your magic to come back for me.
I'm very stubborn.
I got to fight the dragon.
No, you are the only one who hurt it.
It was so cool.
Yeah, the part where you were like inches away from its teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very scary. I don't want to do that again.
If you do, I will try to help you again.
Thank you.
Let go of me.
Oh, right.
The end of that, Aspen's probably gonna come over to both Veneris and Zeph. Thank you. Thank you both.
Veneris just grabs onto Aspen and starts hugging Aspen.
Wait, now I feel left out. Let me get
Yes,
back in there.
Get in here.
Yeah, nice and awkward.
Group hug.
Good. Aspen, you know you're very popular. We all think you're the coolest.
I appreciate that, but I swore an oath. And my oath says that I put myself in between danger and beauty and happiness, and that's what the kids are. But there's a lot of different ways to be a hero. Being a hero, it's not one act. It's hundreds of decisions every day. You can be a hero just by living with the kids and going with them and helping them later. You have been heroes, both of you. So many times. Every day.
Zeph is crying, but very stoically.
Veneris is just smiling. This is the best day of his life. Just make sure sometimes you follow your own advice, okay? Staying
That's a
back
good
doesn't
point.
always help.
Aspen, does your oath say anything about lying? Lying, where does that fall on that? Like lying by omission, does it fall like, it's not a big deal? Or is it like, it's a pretty big deal?
My oath is not very strict.
Why
Why do you
Good. No reason?
Are you lying about something?
Nope.
Mother says you're not supposed to lie.
You know what? I'm an adult.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm a mature adult lady. So don't look at, why are you stop it. I'm going. Goodbye.
Bye.
And with, let's just say 3 minutes remaining, Father Strider, what are you doing right now?
After attending to the children and making sure that they're somewhat rested and calmed and at least, getting some type of food in their belly and some fresh water, he heads over to Mother and approaches her. Mother, this journey has been rife with many dangers. I thought for sure we would lose more of our family, more of our friends. When that dragon came down, I could only think about getting the children to safety. Now when I look at the path ahead and I see what appears to be danger in Neverwinter. I feel that before the day is out, a man might be able to repay a child's debt.
She reaches up with her hands knotted at the joints with age and arthritis, but they take yours gently. There is no debt to be repaid. Ever.
I wish my heart felt the same. And he walks away to prepare the children for the remainder of the journey.
Mother stands as her hair that's usually kept up into, tied up into a bun behind her is pulled loose in certain areas, and strands of the hair are blowing in the wind. And that seems like a good time to end our countdown. The dwarf known as Gunamon Minehind comes over the rise, following you out, his hair wild as he walks up. What the hell are you all just sitting around? We gotta get that. And he, for the first time, looks at Neverwinter. Oh, this is burning. Ah, hell with it. The dead are coming. And as soon as and you see an explosion of orange flame come up behind as he looks back over his shoulder and with an almost sheepish grin looks at the rest of you and says, I rigged the whole place. It's gonna start blowing when those dummies come wandering through it. And he points towards Neverwinter. They're gonna start shooting whenever they see it blow up.
I'm sorry. What?
Which part?
All of it.
I feel like
Just
this
start
should have
over.
been mentioned earlier.
I said the whole place was rigged. Stay on the path. Rigged means it's gonna blow up. It's gonna explode. Black powder and death and snot and shit.
Oh, okay, but also about the part about Neverwinter shooting when they see the explosions and us not being in the city yet.
That's the signal. When the explosions go off, they know that it's coming, so they're gonna shoot. And it's the first time that you see what looks like a spherical glob of fire go about 75 yards above your head and crash with a rumble through this broken earth as you... That's it. They're shooting now. It's time to go. You got...
Yeah, no, I see that.
Yes.
Yep.
Let's go. Let's okay.
You follow the guidelines. They're... Neverwinter's probably burning. They came from Silvery Moon. Damn place already fell, but just go through the city, and I need everyone to roll a deck save.
Ugh.
Anyone within 10 feet of me gets a +2.
Yay.
So 18 total for me.
I'll give you all +2. Yeah.
17 total.
20 for me then. Ow.
Okay. Aspen and Strider, you get knocked prone. As you fall, you collapse to the ground. This is going to give you disadvantage on initiative rolls as they go forward. Who had the highest here? Dex. You see that this odd dwarf, Gunamon Minehind, is trying to say something, but there's a ringing in your ears as an explosion has just gone off, maybe 20, 30 yards back the way that you've come. And he's sitting there talking to you. You can roll me a perception check.
Disadvantage because we're in sunlight, right? Again, I'm trying to perceive something with my eyes, yeah. Still an 18!
Still an 18.
Expertise!
Yeah.
So he sees you focusing in on his mouth, and he literally grabs you, Dex, and yells into your ear. And you hear the following: "Head north through the city. There's a fortress called the Door. It's at the north. Don't go in Luskin. They've already abandoned it. I'll hold off these beasties as long as I can. And if anyone asks, you tell him the last living being in the south was a mine-hide."
Okay!
What? And he turns around and pulls an axe with a hammer on one head and a half moon blade on the other. And he goes back up to the rise where he stood, and he turns back around. And though, Dex, you can't hear the words coming out of the dwarf's mouth, you can easily read his lips as he mouths in a scream, "Yeah, they're fucking coming."
Okay,
So-
Dex is gonna try to get everyone moving and get her two prone people up. Because we need them.
As soon as you all do this, and this is where the party hates me, I need everyone to roll initiative, disadvantage for those that are prone. And then I need you to tell me your... Whoa. Dex coming out of nowhere.
Alert is a good feat.
Whoa!
Wow! Oh, wow.
That's what plus 10 to initiative does for you.
Alert is a good feat.
Okay, so I have Dex 1, I have Strider 2, I have Daenerys 3, Zeph 4, and trailing up Aspen. The world turns into dust. You all feel yourselves being thrown across some type of triggered spell in combination with the assault and the artillery that's being fired from Neverwinter. You take no damage, but you feel yourself being shifted. And as the dust begins to choke, I need my initiative winner, Dex, to roll me a d8 twice.
That's an 8 and a 1.
Okay, I now need Strider to roll me a d6 twice.
It's /roll.
1d6, yep, and then just do it 2 times for me. Okay, and then I will need Daenerys. I need you to roll me a d4 twice. Okay. Give me 1 second. Oh my word, that's amazing.
In a good way or a bad way?
It's amazing in a good way.
It's amazing from the DM's perspective. That's all you need to
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
Dex.
No, yep.
So as this begins to settle a bit, you can't make hide nor hair what's up or what's down. The ground is moving. And it's moving a little slower for Aspen because they have been gifted with 10 feet of extra movement from our buddy Staffin Straw, as mark down that extra 10 feet of movement. But Dex, as you look around, you see that the landscape has changed. Where there was just pitched, pieces of rock that seemed to be just strewn about plains and jagged kind of angles, have now formed canyons. They're high, some of them turning into tunnels as you see darkness and light barely making its way through. Dex, as you turn, you see, just as the dust swirls a bit, there is a kind of a collapse, an A-frame of rock, and you see a hand come out from beneath it, and you hear, "Inya! Inya!"
Okay, so this entire thing is collapsed. There's no feasible way into it as of right now.
Imagine this. You are in a very narrow, almost like a Wyoming kind of canyon, like a one-shoulder humanoid canyon. And in one particular wide area, there's a collapse of rock put up much like a bonfire would be stacked with wood, but this is with mineral instead of fiber. And you see the little hand coming out. Yeah, yeah. And you feel a tug on your sleeve.
Okay, I look down at where I was tugged.
You see the half-burned face of Megan covered in soot, as her eyes wide as she looks, and as the dust settles, you see no one else. What do you want to do, my friend?
We gotta go check on Pidge. So I'm gonna grab Megan. Okay, come on. We gotta go check on Pidge, and I'm gonna head over with her towards that A-frame.
And Megan's basically the same size as Dex, as the two of you go hand in hand over to the collapse. When you get there, you just continue to hear "yah, yah" as the dirty hand reaches out from underneath. You see a length of forearm, but nothing else. How do you want to free her?
So I'm assuming the forearm is coming through a hole. How big is that hole?
It looks to be roughly, 8 to 10 inches by 8 to 10 inches. It's not a perfect box. She can't make her way out herself.
With a nature check, could I see if there is a way I could move the rocks to widen the hole, but not have it collapse?
Absolutely. That sounds like the perfect use of nature.
Expertise is a good thing.
And there it is. You see a piece of sandstone that seems to have settled awkwardly. It seems like it's just about ready to tip in your favor. You figure with just a little bit of pressure, you could be able to tip it out of the way and potentially open the hole a little bit more. How would you like to do it?
Okay, Pidge, I'm going to widen this hole. When I do that, we're going to get you out, okay? And I'm going to kneel down and I'm going to grab the hand. We're going to get you out, okay? Okay, I just need you to do this one thing.
You see the little hand stop and it's shaking and trembling, but then you see it go.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1, and I apply that pressure to try to widen the hole.
Roll me an athletics check then. with advantage.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's an 8.
Let's cut away from this scene. As you move, there is a shift, and the dust begins to rise again. As Father Strider, you are in another of these canyons. It seems as if the ground itself has formed a funnel. It seems that large magics have been at play here in an effort to perhaps siphon or keep these dead into a fixed area. Roll me a perception check. You hear, as the dust is moving around, you hear the voice of Z. I don't know where anybody is. Would you stop it? I don't know where anyone is. And as you see the shadows of Z kneeling down in front of a smaller figure, and they're about 5 to 10 feet away from you.
I immediately move over to them.
You see the form of the half-elf Z, formerly Daisy, and you see the Kenku Kets. And they throw themselves into your arms. The teenage half-elf, no longer worried about what might be cool on the streets and in the minds of Waterdavians, but instead is simply, happy to see you.
Calm yourselves, children. Trust in your family. I'm sure the others are fine. They are being attended to by us older children. Not fear. We will get through this. We have gotten this far. We will make it the rest of the way. And, oh yeah, go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh, God. Oh, thank God.
You see the eyes of hope and devotion, and they're not hanging on every word, they're hanging on every syllable. You don't represent safety, you represent salvation. And everything you're saying, they are taking directly to heart as Ketz stands there holding and clinging to your clothing, and Z looks at you and has just enough gumption left to say, Father, what do we do?
Stay close to me, child. I will get us to safety. We will find the others. We will be a family again. Keep your strength and your faith up.
And they do. With that earlier perception and the fact that these kids are absolutely locked into every word that Father Strider is saying, you notice that there is a path to the north that seems to lead directly towards Neverwinter. However, the walls of this canyon are high. They are 20 feet up and almost sheer in there. It's almost like river stone or river rock smooth. But with also a 20 perception, you hear movement from the south and the cries of a crazy dwarf who seems to be trying to buy everyone a few extra seconds.
Okay, so the canyon itself, there's no physical way out of it other than going up the wall?
You could say that I put you on a railroad track.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do then is I am going to spend a key point to cast Pass Without Trace. 2 key points to cast Pass Without Trace. That's a tongue twister, folks. And we are going to stealthily try to make our way out of this canyon. Now, as a tabaxi, I have a climbing speed. So I am going to essentially, if I have to, lash these children to me in order to get them up and out of this canyon.
Okay, are you going to follow the canyon north, or you're going to try to climb the walls out?
So you said the canyon looks like there is a path that leads out?
There is an opening, and the canyon moves to the north. The rest of it's kind of fallen rock and then sheer walls that go straight up. Imagine being at the bottom of the Grand Canyon if the Grand Canyon was 2 humanoids wide.
Gotcha. Okay. In that case, then yes, we'll attempt to stealthily stay in the canyon out of eye line of whatever is above us.
Okay.
And head towards Neverwinter, I assume is in the direction of north.
Fantastic. Roll me a stealth for you and the kids. And of course, Pass Without Trace is in effect.
Does that help?
A natural 20.
Do we
For-
vanish from the plane of existence and appear in Neverwinter?
So with a 39, you all basically Ant-Man to the quantum realm. And yeah.
If we appear in a zombie's butt, I'm going to be pissed. Just saying.
Well, I'll change my note. No. Very good. As we go over to Veneris. Veneris, as you wake up, there is, or come to, you haven't fallen completely unconscious, but as there is a swirl of dust above your head, you hear the settling of rock and nothing else. Roll me a perception check.
Aware from underground again. Perception. 20.
What is Eric Vulgaris running roll 20 right now for you all? This is fantastic. 20, 20, 29, 20. Great, I'm glad. Okay, I couldn't be happier. No, as you look around, Jordan, Veneris sees a large hulking form that's kind of leaning over and looking down into like a barrel formation of rock. And you hear, I know I'm not him, but come on out. Not gonna hurt you. I don't know anything. I need someone to help me.
I flap my wings to try and help clear the dust, and I go over to the child. I believe this is Truss.
This is Rock.
Rock.
Who is,
oh God.
Rock is looking down into what looks like a pretty kind of square barrel area with an opening in the middle of it, and he's looking down. And as soon as he sees you come over, oh, good. And he puts his hand over his mouth again. I can't get him to come out.
Sheriff Rock. Who is it? Who is down there?
What did you call him?
Sheriff Rock.
You see, as the dust is settled onto his features, his hand drops, and you see a clear mark go down his cheek. As it's Truss. It's Truss.
Truss, are you down there? It's me, Veneris.
You hear the following sound.
Truss. I quickly check to see if I still have the shotgun on me.
You do.
Okay. Truss, are you stuck down there?
The albino and hairless head of Truss peeks up over the barrel.
Okay, we are going to get you out of there. So how wide is it again, this hole?
It's the barrel's wide enough, and Rock looks and says, he jumped down there himself. He's not stuck.
Truss, why did you go down there?
you see a large, what looks like a ballista with a stalk on the end of it, come up out of the barrel of rock. And Trust looks down and looks at you, looks down, looks at you.
That's reasonable. How big, how heavy does this ballista look?
He's carrying it.
Oh, he's carrying it?
It does look like it was built for 2 people to operate, though. You can see
Okay.
that there is what appears to be 2 shoulder mounts.
Okay, I am gonna... Trust, can you climb out? I can get that out for you.
Trust does not hand it over, but instead pulls it close and, like, swings a leg way up and over the lip, and Rock kind of helps him out.
Go to, help him get out. Well, it looks like you're pretty set on keeping that with you. Oh boy, this is gonna slow us down. Rock, can you help him carry that?
You won't let me.
Oh, but Trust, it's meant for 2 people.
He
You
just
want-
stares. They just stare at you.
Oh, great. Okay, I quickly try and look around for a way out or a way towards the city north.
With your earlier perception, you are gifted with the same type of escape that was told to Strider, in that there is a winding kind of serpentine path through smooth stone. It seems to make its way north. Again, you can hear the sound with a 20 perception of tumbling rock in the distance, the sound of a belligerent yet heroic dwarf, and the dead.
Okay, does it look like this giant ballista is gonna slow us down?
You haven't moved yet with it, but he seems to be holding on to it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Blunder Trust seems to be holding on to it. Rock hasn't picked it up or anything like that, but
Okay.
Blunder Trust, they're fine with it.
All right, I'm gonna start leading us towards north, and if it looks like Truss is like slowed carrying this ballista, I will cast Long Strider on him to just boost that movement a little bit, but only if it looks like he's like really slowed down by it.
Okay. Yeah, he
But
seems to be.
otherwise-
Yeah, Rock seems to be keeping up fine, and Blunder Trust, they're keeping up fine. You can tell that they probably wouldn't be able to use the device,
Mhm.
but they can carry it. It's like a snow
Okay.
shovel.
Then instead, I'm gonna turn to Rock, and I say, Rock, I'm going to try something, and while I'm casting this, I need you to keep an eye out. All right, Sheriff?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Then let's start moving north, and as we're moving, I'm going to try and start casting Flock of Familiars.
Okay. What are you bringing to you? You can get
My
3,
question,
so
what kind of I know that warlocks can bring about pseudo dragons. Could I create pseudo dragons?
I tell you what. Roll me a d20. On
Okay.
a 15 to 20, I will allow you to summon 3 pseudo dragons.
Okay. Let's roll it. 17. Time to be Mother of Dragons.
So, what's the casting time on that?
1 minute. I need
Okay.
1 minute of concentration to create these familiars.
As you are casting, you are just finishing the last bit of component when you hear Rock say, I think something's coming. And we're going to cut away to Zeph. Zeph, roll me a perception check.
21.
Rolls. You come to, again, not unconscious, but now aware, and as the dirt is and the dust is spinning around you, you realize that there is a form lying on top of you.
I poke it.
Ow.
Well, you're alive. That's good. Pat, pat.
As the dust settles a bit, the head comes off of your chest, and nose to nose with you is Robin.
Hey.
What happened?
We fell.
Where's everybody else?
Probably around. Is there anyone else down here?
And just beside, kind of curled up against you, as if you're settling into sleep and not at the bottom of some newly formed trench, you see a goblinoid face look up. Can.
Okay. Cool. This is fine. Don't panic. You see me? I'm not panicking. I sit up. Okay. What is around me?
Much like as was described to everyone else, you have a serpentine, smooth-walled canyon heading towards the north.
Uh-huh.
And there's also, with a 21, you too hear the sounds of what appears to be the dead coming from behind you. So you're able to orient yourself southerly, northerly,
Right.
and the sound of a crazy-ass dwarf who seems to be given as well as he can get, at least for right now.
Hey. You want to go for a ride?
Yeah?
Mm.
Can.
Okay. Great. Yeah, I don't want to be in this canyon. I don't want these kids in this canyon. I don't like canyons. So, let's get the fuck out of here. I would like to conjure animals, and I would like to, yeah. Eagles seem good. I'm not gonna turn into an eagle yet. Later.
How big are giant eagles?
They're
pretty...
not that big, and they're very aerodynamic.
Well, yeah, they can get down in there. As Veneris will tell you, you can get into a coal chute, but flying back out of one's sort of a problem.
Okay, I can do something else. What do I think? What do I think the timing's like? Do I think that I have time? Like, how much time do I think I have with my 21 perception?
About a minute.
Oh, a minute. A minute's great. I love a minute. That's fat. I love a minute.
Minute to win it.
Yeah. So then I will do my special air genasi thing, which is definitely not the reason that I picked that race. It's not the only reason. I'm going to, these kids are very light. They're very light. They're very light. So I'm going to put them, I'm going to grab them. One's a goblin and one's 10. I have to carry 10-year-olds. So I got them, right? I'm going to put them on me. We're all going to get very comfy. And I'm going to cast levitate on myself. And we're all going to fly up the 20 feet that you said the canyon was in one round. And we're going to be on the northerly side.
Okay. As you get out onto the what used to be sea level, if you will, of the canyon of which you used to be a part of, when you get up top, you see the city of Neverwinter is in full artillery barrage as you see streaking marks of spherical flame as they are going over your head and crashing, but they seem to be tracking closer and closer toward you.
Uh-huh.
That big dust cloud that was to the south seems to be on you. However, in the plain in front of you, no longer is it pitched and turned. It is sloped, however, into these little canyons that appear everywhere, almost as if anything that were to try to run on top of this that wasn't maybe cognizant or sentient might slip and fall into the canyons.
Oh.
But
okay.
you, that hold a higher intelligence, should be fine.
Sweet. Shit. We should start moving. But I think, how far away are we from the city?
About a mile.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I can wait till next round if you'd like, but I am going to get us going.
Okay, so you're just heading off best possible speed towards the city.
Yeah, I'll probably be summoning eagles next time to get us there much
All right,
faster.
so the three of you are running as Can, Robin, and Zeph are heading and streaking towards the city of Neverwinter. Aspen, roll me a perception check.
I'm gonna go ahead and spend 5 honor to get advantage on this because everyone else had really good perception, and I'll feel left out if I don't. So.
There you are.
Awesome.
There it worked. Okay, so with a 17, you wake up, and because you had been prone when this happened, you feel hands on the side of your face, and you hear Mother's voice. Little horse? Little horse, are you okay?
Mother. I'm fine. I'm fine. Are you
Mother
okay?
has a gash above her on her forehead. The hair that had pulled loose before in the wind is now kind of matted to it. I'm fine. We cannot find the children or anyone else. We're in this canyon. I don't know what happened.
I'm sure they're fine. It looks like we just got separated. Let's get out of here and then we'll find them.
She agrees immediately. You are her champion.
Yeah, so I guess she's probably not very fast, what with being elderly. So I'm gonna be like, hop on. We'll move. I have a burst of energy, as it were, so we'll move a lot faster that way. Just don't drag your feet.
It takes your help to get her into position, but she holds onto you around the waist, and you can feel her whisper into your back. Just like when you were little. And she just squeezes you tight.
And then, yeah, we'll just run forward north.
I would like you to make an athletics check for me to see, since it's not just one round, but a series, a bit of time that we will have. Fantastic. Okay, you begin to weave your way through this kind of serpentine canyon to the north, your perception telling you what everybody else had heard as well. The dead are coming, the sounds of the dwarf now in the distance, but now you know nothing but this weave of this smooth rock through the canyon as you head towards the north. Dex. The rock shifts, and for a moment you realize that it's going to close the hole that you had intended to open. You can, however, stop it with yourself and brace it with your back. That is the devil's bargain.
Just double checking what I can do here. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that.
No roll required, as much like Sloth in the Goonies, you're able to move yourself beneath the rock as it's coming, and you feel the weight hit the top of your back and the small of your back, resting almost perfectly on your spine. But as you plant your hands onto your knees, you're able to take the weight before it closes, and slowly, from the space that you've kept open, you see Pidge's hand come back out, still shaking, and she begins to pull herself out as you see the halfling's face covered in dirt and mud and soot, black on one side. Megan runs up and pulls, the two of them work and pull her out of the area. But as you are sitting there holding this, you realize that this is a much more precarious position than it was. You think that if this stone shifts, it could start a slide. And if the slide starts, Megan and Pidge are in the way. The two
So
look at you.
If I move rock slide. If I move rock slide. Do I see anything I could quickly shift to take the weight even for a few seconds? Could I make a nature check for that, or?
Give me a nature check. Most of this seems very unstable right now, though.
That would be an 11.
Nothing that looks like it would hold for any period of time. And as Megan and Pidge look at you, Pidge pulls your sleeve a bit. Yeah.
Go. I'll catch up. I just have to hold this a little bit longer. Just go.
They look at you for a second. Make a persuasion check. DC was 10. So, Megan, Pidge doesn't seem to want to leave, but you see Megan, who's a little older, begin to kind of pull Pidge out of the way as Pidge is kind of reaching back as they begin to move down the canyon. You see them slowly climbing over the loose stone, and with your earlier perception, you hear something coming from the south. Here's the devil's bargain again, Dex. You have one round. Kids seem to be almost clear. They're not completely out of the wash of rock. If you wait, you may very well be engaged by the enemy. If you go now, everyone might be okay. What do you want to do?
If I wait the engage, if I go right now, we're probably safe. Can I cast the fog cloud spell right behind the kids, so that anything that may, so that it can like cover the trail of the kids, so that anything that would come on us wouldn't be able to see the kids?
You're going to stay with your back braced up against the rock and cast Fog Cloud?
Yeah, I'm going to stay.
Absolutely, you can do that. And you can also take 20 honor if that's what you decide to do.
I'll take the 20 honor.
The fog begins to creep in the canyon as Pidge and Megan move clear, and as soon as they hit a slightly less debris-strewn area, you can hear them slowly running. But as the fog coalesces, you see shadows appear just feet from you, and you hear and you see a mote of green go past your eye. Let's cut over to Strider. Strider, you are running through a canyon, and as you are running through this canyon, I want you to make for me an acrobatics or an athletics check as you are to see how far you and Z and Ketz get.
It'll totally be an acrobatics check.
Okay, so with a 15, you pop out just as you see from the walls of Neverwinter a cauldron being poured into a sluice. This sluice seems to feed directly into one of the canyons, and it is filled with what looks like molten something. You see that there are several magic users, practitioner of the arts, that are creating this substance as it goes down into the canyon that you're able to get out of. You climbed out of the canyon, you can step aside, but it is going down into the canyon at a rapid pace. You do notice that some people on the wall, there's movement and a distant kind of talking as you're now about 200 yards away. And you see a couple hands go up as people realize that living people were coming out of these canyons, or that at least 3 of them did.
Yeah, I moved to wherever is with the children, wherever is the closest point to safety, even if it means I have to pop my feline agility to double movement.
You can get it. Yeah, you don't have to. You can get out of the way in
Okay.
plenty of time.
And I'm literally shouting to the people on the walls that there's more of us coming.
It's at that time that you see almost simultaneously across the length of the walls of Neverwinter, these huge, massive kettles being dumped into these sluices. As any chance of stopping this, even if the citizenry wanted it to happen, doesn't seem like something they can do now.
Okay.
They are motioning you all, and you see that the main doors of Neverwinter aren't open, but you see a personnel door, like a 2x2 humanoid door open at the bottom of the larger doors, and you see maybe battered town's guardsmen as they come out and they're waving, and you can barely hear, "Come on."
They're waving me to that door right beneath them? Is this the northern door?
Would be the door on Neverwinter's southern, it'd be their southern gate. So it would be the one closest to you. It's not directly in the line of like lava, but it's...
Okay. So, would I know, is this the Luskin door that's fallen?
Luskin, you do know, is to the north of
Okay. All right.
Neverwinter.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just a wee bit confused because it was the dwarf said go to the northern door because Luskin had been given up on.
He said go to the north. There is a fortress called the Door. Don't stop at Luskin. Luskin had fallen. It's empty now. Yeah.
Okay. So would I know that fortress is not in the city proper of Neverwinter?
You would know that by the way that the dwarf spoke, it is beyond Neverwinter, further to the north. It seems that there is an evacuation in progress.
Okay, then I'm definitely not going to take the kids into a city that's being evacuated. We would just continue to press forward to the north.
Okay, you're gonna have to skirt around the outside of the city. Do you want to go towards the ocean or towards inland?
It would be towards inland.
Okay. So as you're running along the wall, a couple people yell, "Where are you going?" And they're, but you continue to take both Z and Ketz as you run off to the east. Veneris, make an acrobatics or an athletics check for me.
Okay. I'm gonna use 5 honor to give myself advantage on this.
Why?
This is to see how far we get, right?
It is, yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna use an acrobatics. And was I able to get my familiars out? Are they active right now?
We'll do that in just 1 second. Let's roll this
Okay.
real quick.
Oh. Okay, yeah, 19.
Okay. So with a 19, just as you finish, you begin to hear, and I believe, let me pull this up. I believe this is their way of speech. Is it mental telepathy for pseudo dragons?
Any creature that I summon with flock of familiars can speak telepathically to me.
That's what I thought. Okay, so you immediately start hearing just this chorus of, "What's going on? Is that lava? That's lava. Terry, look, that's lava."
Oh, do I see the lava?
You don't see anything, but when you look up, you see 3 faces looking down at you. And what are you doing down there?
What do you mean there's lava?
There's lava, like a lot.
Fuck. Okay. I see it's 20 feet up. I'm going to pull out, for whatever reason. I've got a grappling hook and 50 feet of rope. I'm going to secure a rope to the top of the 20-foot wall.
You can hear in your mind the entire time 3 distinct voices saying, "Why does he have a rope and a he's got wings? It doesn't make any sense."
You 3, help me and the children get to the top, and I'm going to secure the rope and start ushering the children up. And I'd like my familiars to do the help action to help get these children up top while I'm like hovering behind them to make sure they don't fall.
Okay, so who are you taking, Rock or Blunder Truss?
Oh God, I have to choose. Which one goes first? I feel like Rock would want to stay since he's the whole like role model thing. So we'll send up Truss first, and then immediately after it goes to Rock. And I'm staying with them as they go up.
Okay, so as the 3 are helping you, and you get this odd sensation that their names are Quartz, Obsidian, and Terry, and you're not real sure about the last one, but they are pulling Blunder Truss up by shirt as they're lifting them up, and one of them has Terry has a hold of the helping with the big kind of crossbow looking thing. And what's this? I don't know what it is. It smells funny. It smells like you. What are you talking about? And you see Obsidian, kind of a little smoke comes out of Obsidian. And they're getting them up there, but I want you to roll a perception check for me.
Okay. Perception check. 10.
DC 10. This is something that you can easily see because you've seen it before. As you see a green mote go past your face.
I immediately fly back down to Rock, and I'm trying to get him up that fucking rope.
What do you want me to do? You hear Rock
Climb.
Actual pebbles moving, and you see shapes begin to come through the area.
Rock,
They're
I need
coming.
you to climb. Climb now.
Okay.
Do this. And I'm gonna help him.
He jumps
Does
up.
my
and
help
slips.
give him advantage?
You see him jump up and he slips
Oh,
back
no.
down. And I'm sorry. I need you to roll a
Okay,
persuasion
okay.
check for me.
Rock, you can do this. Persuasion. I'm not good at that. 14.
It looks like Rock was about ready to start running down the canyon north, but with a 14 DC, he stops and, what do you want me to do?
Okay. I wanna. This spell is normally for a self. Can I use it on Rock? I want to try and Misty Step him to the top of the wall.
I love the idea, and I have
honor.
yes, you can. I have tried to do this before and been told no, and I didn't appreciate it. So what I am going to do is I am going to allow you to roll an Arcana check. The DC is 12 on this. If you can get 12 or higher, sheer force of will enable you to do it.
Okay, I am going to use another 5 points for honor because I really want this to fucking work. Oh, I didn't even need honor. I don't even know why.
Didn't even need it, but you can take it off anyway.
Okay, yeah.
So as you grab, what goes through Veneris' mind as Rock is looking, the streaks on his cheeks still indicating where you called him sheriff, the badge that he made in honor of the deputy that deputized him still emblazoned, though dirty, on his chest. What do you say and how do you send him on his way?
I grab his shoulders and I look him dead in the eyes and I say, "Time to go, Sheriff." And I just squeeze his shoulders and then just in a poof of mist, my hands clap together as he vanishes up to the top. And as soon as I cast that, I want to fly up to meet them.
Sure, but what we're going to do is 2 things happen.
Okay.
One, the puff, and then an appearance, a puff at the top, and you hear, "Oh my God!" And then I need you to roll initiative.
Oh, shit. Okay. Initiative. Come on, alert. 16. Ew.
As you are getting ready to take off, as you are getting ready to take flight, what I'm going to need you to do is I want you to make a strength saving throw as something seems to tackle you before, or attempt to tackle you before you can take flight.
I'm gonna use some honor points.
Yeah, which I should let you know, you have another 20 because you sent Rock up before you sent yourself.
Perfect. Okay. So now I was at 10, I'm at 30 now, and I'm going down to 25. Oh God. Okay, 11.
So Veneris, as you're standing, getting ready to launch up, you feel this incredibly powerful shoulder crack into the small of your back as you are driven to the ground. As you turn and try to defend yourself, you see the half-torn face of Gunamon Minehind as the dwarf looks at you, any ounce of recognition in his once crazy, carefree eyes now gone. The last living being of the South is no longer living. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Let's do this at advantage. Advantage. Oh my God! I just realized I was clicking a strength check and not a save. That would actually be because I have a 2 to saves, so that would have been a 14 on both of those. I'm not sure if that. No. Okay.
We're still in the same spot.
Dexterity saving throw at advantage. Oh God, I really need this. 16.
So, as the mouth comes down to bite on you, you're able to get a forearm underneath the jaw, keep the mouth from opening wide enough to bite. You are still grappled beneath, but as of right now, the dwarf has not infected you, as Veneris is fighting for his life at the bottom of this canyon. But let's cut over to Zeph. Zeph, you're at the top of everything right now. You see the whole world. Roll me a perception check.
25.
Yeah, you see everything.
Cool.
As you
Love it.
look around, you see Father Strider in the distance pop up with a 25. You see Z and Ketz. You see them begin to skirt easterly along the outside wall, bypassing the gate. You look around and you don't see anybody else appearing at this moment. What would you like to do?
How's that horde looking? How's that?
It's beginning to crest and come over the hill that Minehind had come down to talk to you from. And as soon as they hit these trench areas, they begin to stumble and spill and roll into very similar trenches to the one that you just flew out of.
Are more above ground than falling right now?
It looks like all of them are getting they're so mindless in their running that they're just not watching their step and kind of spinning and falling in there. It's almost like running on a catwalk without a railing. If you know what you're doing, you're fine. If you're not paying attention at all, you're going to fall off.
Okay. Okay. Oh boy. Am I very far away from like where we were? Did Father Strider come out of the same canyon that I did?
No, it looks like a different
Okay.
one. It almost looks like that there is like an alluvian field right here at a delta where you see these kind of rivulets coming off and kind of fanning away from Neverwinter. It looks like he emerged with the two kids from a different one.
Okay. Oh. Okay. 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 Cool. And I don't see anybody else coming out yet.
No.
Well, I've got Robin and Gungan. Cool. This is great. I love this. I want to slow the horde down.
I want to know how.
Well, according to Father Strider's info, they can't abide the cold, right?
That's the info that almost cost Father Strider his life. Yeah. So
Yeah. So I hope it's good. So cool. Okay. So what I'd like to do, I think, is there's so many things that I can do. I just don't know. Okay. No. I'll do it later because it's not. I'll do it later. Okay. I want to instead conjure woodland beans. And
what's
I
the
want
casting time on that?
an action.
Okay.
I want to summon 8 pixies. Calm down, everybody. Mostly Jordan. I want to, so this will be the order for them. They act on their own initiative and they all go at the same time. Their order is to go fly over the canyon and cast, each one of them can cast fly once a day. You cast fly on any living, as in not undead creatures that they can. Usually the bigger ones, if they're with someone. So they know what to do. So I will describe this because I don't just strategize in all my free time. I think about things. Basically, Zeph has a very thick mass of black hair, so she's just gonna shake it out, and all these little tiny dots kind of fly out, but they're like glowing. And she looks at Robin. See, this is cool too. It looks You know, you haven't seen the cool part. Don't. No, it just looks like dandruff right now.
Glowing dandruff. What? So you summon 8 pixies?
Yep, and they're going. Yep, they're pixies. They're not dandruff. And they're going to go try to help. Yeah.
Okay, well, first off, when the pixies show up, as you shake your head and 8 of them come out,
Yes.
You hear in a kind of a high pitch, "All right, let's go!" And you see as they kind of get into order, and you see just hands and arms coming up as they begin to move around and begin to like kind of pump themselves up with a cheer, if you will. And they go, "Okay, let's go!" And they wait for you to say something.
That was a really good cheer. Go help the people probably in those canyons, the ones who are not zombies. Help them get out of the canyon really fast. By making.
Okay. We help people. Yes, we do. We help people. How about you? And they all start flying off.
They're so much perkier than I am. Magic's weird. Do I need a... I think I need a haircut. I don't know what else is in here.
An extra one flies out.
No!
It doesn't glow at all. It's like a goth. It's like Greg in high school. And it's just sullen and it says, "I'm not helping anybody. No one helps me." And it just, bzzz, and just flies off.
Okay, bye! I'm just a little... Okay.
You see, we get all serious, and then this kind of stuff happens.
Welcome to my game, Andy.
Spells are weird.
It's great. I love it.
Okay, so as everybody goes out, what I would like Lauren to do is we're gonna send them out in groups of 2. I'm gonna help you. But I would like you to roll for me 4 d20s.
Oh God. I hope low is good. It doesn't look like it's good.
You hear over the wind, "I don't see anything. I don't see anything either." And they're just flying around. You see them looking down into the holes and stuff. "I don't see anybody to help." And just we'll do it again at some point, but right now the Perksies, as I think Jason named them, are they're baffled. They're small and dust is a lot bigger. So they're dodging dust as anywho. What else would you like to do?
Keep moving.
Roll me an acrobatics or athletics check.
Ooh.
Nice.
18 on that.
Okay, so as you get to the edge of where you would have emerged from the canyon anyway, you get there a couple beats ahead of where you would have been had you traveled it and used the canyon to get there. But you see what I narratively explained to Jason, that there are these vats that seem to be pouring in this molten material, and it's beginning to sluice down in and go into the serpentine canyons, the smooth canyons that you had been a part of, that you saw Strider climb out of.
Am I with Strider?
Strider is still ahead of you. You could probably get to him your next round, though, if you want to move towards that direction.
Okay, yeah, that's probably the direction I'm going to move in.
Okay. Moving towards Strider. I'll put you over here with him. Aspen, Roll me. You already rolled one. Just as we're gonna have Zeph moves around with Robin and Can, Aspen pops out of one of the canyons with Mother. And as they pop up and as they're standing there with Mother, the two of you are reunited. So Zeph and Aspen, you are within speaking distance to one another. But Aspen, again, you see everything that's happening with this material being dropped into the canyons.
Who are we missing?
Veneris, Dex, and some of the children, Rock, Truss, and where are my notes? Pidge and Megan. If you want to go get them, do you want to be a flying horse?
I would love to be a flying horse.
Cool. The Parksies, you're close. Look, here's someone to help. Can you make them fly?
One of the ones that seems to be kind of lagging behind and not really doing, turns around. What do you want me to do?
Could you please make this centaur fly? They are going to help you get the others out.
Well, that's all I can do.
That's great.
Fine. And cast fly on Aspen.
Okay, so Aspen is going to... Oh.
I was going to say, you summon pixies. You summon pixies. I did not summon pixies.
That are friendly to me and my companions and do what I say. Yep.
They are friendly and they're doing everything you say. They
So
are
cool.
cheerleader pixies.
Uh-huh.
Aspen, what would you like to do?
So Aspen is going to pull something from behind their shield. And that something is a flower that had once grown in Mother's garden. And Aspen is going to hand it to Mother and say, I don't know what flowers grow in the north, but just in case. And then Aspen is going to turn around and fly over these canyons looking for Veneris and Dexter and the other kids.
Okay. What we're going to say is, just for the aesthetic of all of this, and because I owe Lauren for making the pixies assholes, is that instead of just a normal fly spell, there are astral wings that come out of the side of Aspen. These wings do not adhere to the same laws of nature, meaning that you can continue to fly even in an area that would keep the wingspan from extending properly, i.e. the canyons. So, you take off and you are looking, but let's go back to Dex. Dex, rock on your back. Kids are clear of the area. There are green motes floating around you, and there are creatures just in the shadows of your fog cloud, but as of right now, they don't seem to know that you're there. What would you like to do?
Oh, boy. So in theory, I cannot see them, they cannot see me.
You can see shadow. You can definitely tell that there's something there. But whether or not they can reciprocate or just think that you're another one of the rocks, you haven't been tackled and bitten yet, so that's a good indicator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As a free action, could I make a nature check to look at the rock walls between me and the fog cloud? See if there's a path I could theoretically climb up without using athletics?
Without using athletics?
Or if not, then at least see if there's a path I could potentially climb up.
Like you're looking for like a parkour path, something
Yeah,
that
yeah,
would
something
require
like that.
acrobatics as opposed to strength. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me your check. You think, but it's going to take crackerjack timing. As soon as you let go of this rock, you don't know what's going to happen. And if everything stays the same and nobody gets in the way and you can see where you're going, you think you might be able to spring kind of up a bit. You're not sure how high you can get, but at least for the first, because you're looking through the fog cloud too, at least for the first 10 to 15 feet, you think you can elevate. You're not sure how high you can get.
Okay. Okay, in one move then, I want to let go of this rock wall, get over to wherever I can start parkouring my way up, and start trying to parkour up from there.
As soon as you let go, I would like you to roll a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
I'm going to use 5 honor to do this at advantage.
Fantastic. Do something real quick. Alrighty, so you're able to begin to climb as you hear what sounds like the tumbling of stone as you kind of jump and hop from some of the shifting rock, and you don't hear screams or surprise. You just hear the crunch of these rocks on flesh and bone as the creatures in the shadow, the creatures in the fog, begin to take the brunt of the attack that may have hit the kids had you elected to do this earlier. But a landslide has started. You are running on top of it. I would like you to make an acrobatics check as you continue to run down this shifting mountain, or run up this shifting mountain.
Another 5 honor to do this at advantage.
And so the little form of the kobold continues to jump from shifting rock to shifting rock as you are running up this hill, wide-eyed. It seems that each stone you step on gives you just enough time to leap before it, at the last second, leaves from beneath the sole of your foot as you are just jumping and the mountain is sweeping into the canyon behind you. Make me another acrobatics check, please, as you are getting closer to the top.
And another 5 honor to do this at advantage. 14.
Just at the top, you feel your toe catch as you fall forward and reach for the edge of the canyon lip. Make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Spend my last 5 honor to do this at advantage.
And just as all of the ground and foothold and toe holds that you had been using sweep away beneath you, your left hand grabs hold of the edge and you are dangling in space, yet able to pull yourself up to the top of the wall. When you look down, you see dust, you see green motes, and you see rocks that have smashed creatures. You see arms from beneath boulders as they continue to flex and reach for the living. But they cannot grab you, Dex, for you are atop a wall.
Do I see the kids? Do I see Megan and...
Roll me a perception check.
Disadvantage because I'm in sunlight. 16.
As you turn and look up the canyon, the end of which is collapsed that you were in, you see the two forms as they are running down the serpentine trail, but from your position you can see the turns in it, and you also see two creatures that seem to be running after them.
Ooh. How close are they to the kids?
They are 30 feet and closing.
Are they within 60 feet of me?
The creatures are.
Is there a path, like a roughly 10-footish path ahead of them that is within 60 feet of me?
We're gonna say that the zombies are just at the edge of 60 feet away from you. They had some time to get ahead of where you were, so.
Okay. Do I still have my regular move, or I'm assuming that would be the parkour I did getting out of here?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna use the parkour as your movement, because whatever you were moving.
Okay.
I'll give you your action and your bonus.
Okay.
Benevolent DM.
Bonus action dash to run 30 feet along the top of this wall, closer to the kids.
Mm-hmm. You're 30
And
feet.
then-
Yeah, you're 30 feet from the creatures and 60 feet from the kids.
And then action, I am going to cast a spell that I believe was cast yesterday. Grease. Right in front of the zombies.
Very good. So it's a dex saving throw for them.
Yep,
And,
when they get there, and even if they do pass it, it's still difficult terrain. So it'll at least slow them down.
Nice, nice. Okay, so what is the
13,
These-
I believe.
okay.
Yeah, it's 13.
They both hit it and seem to slide right through the area as they continue their sprint, closing on the children. As Dex, as you slide to a stop, panting from your exertion, casting the spell, it not helping or slowing these creatures as they barrel right through it. As a free action, you look up and you see the molten lava being poured into the end of the canyon that you just escaped from. The canyon that is currently home to Pidge and Megan. Megan, of course, terrified of fire. Veneris, you are pinned beneath one of these creatures. You hear something else happening. It is your turn to act. What would you like to do?
Cool. Veneris looks our friend in the eye and he says, "You crazy motherfucker." And he is going to cast Misty Step to get the fuck out of there.
Misty Step for the win! Okay, so you are able to disappear as the body of the dwarf collapses onto the ground in front of you. And I'm assuming you're going to the top of the canyon?
Yep, I'm flying, and I want to give some orders to my beautiful children. Quartz Obsidian,
Yeah?
help the children. We are making our way towards that city. Terry, I want you to scout ahead, keep an eye out for any dangers or any other friends that we might need to help, okay?
Okay.
You're all
Hi, Terry.
beautiful. You're all doing amazing. I love you all.
You know, thank you. I really needed that today. I wasn't feeling great, and it means a lot to be validated. And Terry just flies off. Like, you can, just at the range of telepathy, you can continue to hear Terry.
Oh, I can hear him
Genuinely-
up to a mile.
Well, then it doesn't stop. You're the nicest person. I'm really glad that, you called me in here. The world's turning to shit, but, today's a good day. You just continue to hear affirmations and poster comments for, yeah. When you get to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. Like, Terry's just continuing to say shit like that.
Okay, now that I'm at the top, I want to make sure that because I've still got my action, because it's a bonus action to cast. I want to make sure that the grappling hook is taking the fuck off that cliff. Like, I'm not leaving them a rope to climb up. I don't know if zombies can climb. I don't want to risk it.
You look down, and Gunamon Minehind has the rope, but he's eating it.
Oh,
And so you're pretty sure that they're not going to figure that out.
okay, then never mind. We're just moving. Movement and
Okay.
action to dash. We're just getting out of here.
Make me an acrobatics or athletics check.
Is this for the kids? Since I've
is
got
for-
wings.
Yeah, this is for you to get everybody where they're going. Do so at advantage because Obsidian and Quartz will be helping you.
Yay. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, that's real bad.
Yeah,
Can
you're
I
still
use honor to get super advantage?
no.
Okay.
So you are still in the field of play when these lava tubes begin to be filled, which means that you have limited mobility now that you can't obviously fall into these places, and there's rivers of lava separating you from other people. Roll me a perception check.
Ooh. Okay. 16.
In the distance, you can see what looks like Zeph. You're pretty sure Zeph has 2 children. You see what looks like Strider along the outside of the wall of the keep, and you see Aspen flying through the air. What? Yep, there's Aspen flying through the air. And as that ends your turn, let's cut back to Aspen. Aspen, roll me a perception check to see if you see Dex. The dust swirls and you don't see anybody on the ground as you continue to make your first pass over everything. And as you look around with a 13, you're still aware, obviously, of where Zeph is and where Strider is. You do not see Veneris, who's still in the field, and you do not see Dex. The steam and the dust and the crap that's been kicked up by the Horde is preventing you from eye-spying exactly what you need to spy. Is there anything else you would like to do in your patrol?
I'm gonna use detect my divine sense.
Sure.
So I guess like I'm gonna just try to like sense the undead and see if that tells me anything useful.
Sure. When you sense the undead, I don't know how old or dated a reference this is, but this is the point in the movie Aliens when the motion sensor has green blips everywhere, and Bill Paxton steps forward and goes, "They're in the fucking room, man!" So you're not sure exactly what's going on, but you get pings from everywhere.
No, like ones off on their own or especially large concentrations.
There's a big concentration to the south. Super big. Like,
Well, I'm not that close. It's only within 60 feet.
well, still super big. So if that tells you something, it tells you that even though you can't see some of the stuff on the ground, there appears to be big problems coming your way.
Yeah, I think that's basically all I got. I'll just keep moving and looking.
Okay, we're going to take a quick aside to Strider and Zeph. Zeph, if you're continuing to Strider, I will allow you two to meet up and keep all of your kids and Mother together, as Mother would have gone off with you as Aspen took to flight. I will ask your group now, are you continuing to skirt Neverwinter? Or are you entering the city?
If Strider tells us his reason for not wanting to go in the city, based on what we've heard, I would say that we would still skirt, probably.
Yes, we know that safety is to the north, but we also know that it appears that the interior of the city is under siege as well. from what we have seen, the smoke and fires from inside. So to me,
Right.
it would be safest if we put as much distance between us and the zombie herd and Neverwinter between the two of us.
I mean, I'm fine with that. The only thing is that going through the city would be quicker. I don't think the undead are inside. But I want to get as many of us out of that as we can. I have friends. I will call them friends. Friends are looking for the children. Yes. Yes.
But we do know from our dwarven friend that one of the gates is already fallen.
Didn't he say Luskin? Isn't that a different city?
Luskin is the city of sails. It's to the north of Neverwinter. He said that he believed that Luskin had fallen and that it was empty, that they had abandoned the city. Beyond that, to the north, he mentioned a fortress by the name of the Door, and that the Door was apparently a bastion of safety. Just by looking around without the need of a roll, I'll let you know that it appears Neverwinter is evacuating.
Right. How much is skirting the city going to cost in terms of time?
Imagine doubling it.
Ugh.
So it's like driving around Manhattan.
Gross. It's an island.
Well, I
would-
mean, you're taking the bridges and the expressway and hitting the Long Island.
Stop it. I'm just fucking with you. Stop it. Yeah, that's a good point. The first thing I gotta do is I want to find the other, 4 kids. That is what I want to do. I mean, I don't have to like use my action to do that. The pixies are doing it, but that's what I'm primarily concerned about because I don't want to start moving without all of them.
So I guess that's the question I'm going to ask is, Strider and Zeph, you currently have 4 of the children. Do you want to continue to take them to safety, or are you going to pause and wait for everyone else?
I would say that we should wait to see if any of our comrades would be able to make it to us.
Yes, I think I have ways to slow them down, dust cloud of bodies, or make us, fly again. So just give me 1 sec. I'm in communication with some very sassy friends. Hold, please. Did you find anything?
We're still looking!
Can you look hard?
We're looking super hard.
Can I roll for them again?
Yes, you can.
Great.
Only this
I
time.
will add
Roll me a
I will add their
3d20.
perception bonus.
No, I'm not asking for that. I'm asking for 3d20.
I don't trust you.
No, here's what I'm doing. It's not a perception bonus because they have to pick the right tubes.
Oh,
and
I
they're
got you.
pixies.
Okay, cool.
Did Aspen happen to sense some little celestials on the field?
The Aspen was looking for undead.
Doesn't Divine sense all undead, celestial, and
You have to pick to my knowledge, you have to pick what you want to hear. If you want to be like celestial and then boom, undead, boom.
Until the end of your next turn, you know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead.
Okay. Well then, yeah, you've got some sassy motes of light that are flying around, and 3 very positive pseudo dragons are on the field as well. You have no idea, Aspen, what the fuck is going on, but this has become like a menagerie, sort of. But yeah, so for whatever additional aid that gives you, and you're pretty sure you hear like positive reinforcement. You know, Terry, you're beautiful and strong. And then you hear like, you can do it. Yes, you can. And just coming from like different sides. There was an 18 rolled, right? With an 18, you hear the same voice come back. I think I see something.
Cool. What do you see?
Aren't we looking for kids?
Yeah.
Got them.
Amazing. They're alive, right?
I guess.
Great. Cast fly on them and bring them back here. The rest keep looking. Yay. Oh, Perky is really bad on Zeph.
Okay.
And
So, at this point, let's see, we would have Blundertruss and Rock begin to fly. What's happening? And Blundertruss just gets a huge smile across their face as they lift up the crossbow in front of them and start to put it over their shoulder. Zeph, from beside you, Robin steps forward and sees all this happening as Blundertruss comes out, flying out of the dust, and Robin just sees it and goes, yeah! And screams and starts waving his hand as Truss begins to fly through the air with this shoulder-mounted rocket launcher that they have created together.
Great. Wonderful. That's so good. That's so good. Cool.
So, I would also like Father Strider, and I would like Zeph to roll me perception checks.
I am going to spend my last 5 honor to do this with advantage.
16 for me.
16 as well.
You both see the pack come around the curve of Neverwinter's wall, coming from Silvery Moon to the east as this pack of undead rushes toward you. You got 2 choices here, and I already know what you'll take because you're heroes. You have to stand your ground and take a strength saving throw, or you can cut and run, but of course the kids cannot. What do you want to do?
I'm sorry, what?
There's a group that has just ran around the curve of the wall of undead. They are sprinting towards you. They are attacking you. You are not surprised, so you get the option to either retreat, which would leave the children in your care, Robin, Can, Z, and Cats, and Mother in the line of fire, or you can stand your ground and make a strength saving throw.
Is Aspen close enough to give them that +2 from their aura?
Oh, they're in the canyon. Could we do something else, or is it like they're in 5 feet of us?
They're literally, you have a choice to either be in melee or not be in melee because they did not surprise you with your perception checks. So with that ability and with the inability to be surprised, you get a chance to act before we roll some initiative.
Okay.
Because they're charging.
Right.
That's what they do.
Yeah. Okay. Strider, what do you feel like?
Strider looks to Mother. The day is the debt is paid. And he turns to Zeph, get them to safety. He pulls out his quarterstaff and charges towards him.
Take 20 honor as Father Strider enters the fray, and quarterstaff in hand, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
I'll spend 5 of it to get advantage. 14.
Zeph, you see the first of the creatures tackle Father Strider and take him down to his back. As the quarterstaff continues to swing overhead, you see a dog pile forming as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 begin to jump on Father Strider. Jason, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. The DC is 20.
Popping another advantage.
So, Zeph, you see the quarterstaff rip up and 2 of them go flying off. A foot come flying out. Another haymaker comes as you see the Father Strider clears the area for a moment. They are still engaged. They are still surrounding him, but he has for a moment swept aside the field as this group of 5 are circling, waiting for their chance to get a meal. What do you do?
I tell the children who are with me, which I think is Z, Katz, Robin, are Rock and Truss with us too?
We'll say that they fly in just as, and just to make it okay for you, so I'll say that they can fly if something happens, but they're going to be running with you just so you don't have to like Rock and Truss fly off, and then you're trying to worry about that. So
no, okay, cool. So I start telling them to, I think, head back toward the gate because we can't keep going east. So I just tell them to start running back the other way, and Jason. Oh, I am going to have to. How many are there? There's 5?
5 of them, yes.
5 of them. Okay, and they're surrounding him? Or they're like dogpiling from one side?
Imagine this. This is a street fight between zombies and a monk. As the monk is just cracking and there's just fists and flying and shit and snot and just craziness. But for this brief moment in time, the pile has been split a bit. Father Strider is still in heavy melee with all of these creatures. But he's fighting.
Okay, I think you can survive this, Strider. So, but hopefully maybe it fucks him up. Zeph, as the kids and mother begin moving back the other way, screams, and her very, very blue skin, these like shards start to come off and go up into the sky and then slam back down as she conjures an ice storm.
Let's do that shit.
Yeah. That's just the bludgeoning that didn't do the cold. But it's more cold. Oh, that's great. Cool. They still take the damage. It's just halved. That's the cold damage. And it's big. It's 40 feet high, 20-foot radius. and it's difficult terrain. And yeah, okay.
Now, here's the funny thing.
Oh, what?
Even though I rolled a nat 20, you would remember that there's the rumor
Vulnerable.
that they don't like the cold.
Yeah.
And Ice Storm is motherfucking cold. So, I need you to make a dex saving throw for me, Father Strider.
Okay, all right. I'm totally happy to do that. I'm gonna spend 5 more points.
Yeah.
just to be sure. With advantage. 19?
Yeah, that makes it.
Okay, so that's going to be, we'll say 10 points of damage for Father Strider, some cold, some whatever.
Yeah.
And that's going to be 20 points of damage per creature that is in this mass. What we're going to do here is roll me a d20. We're going to see just if any of them take the brunt of the attack or if they all take the attack equally. 1 to 10, it's equal. 11 to 20, a couple of them take the brunt of it.
Okay.
They all take it equally. They are all still standing, but they seem very hurt by this pelting of ice that has come down on top of them as you see their joints immediately begin to freeze. And both of you roll me a perception check.
19. Nice.
Both of you simultaneously, even in the middle of this fight, as you yourself pelted with ice, Father Strider, and as you're summoning this storm, Zeph, you see a mote of green go through the air, and then it immediately turns gray and disappears as the cold hits it. But
Okay.
They're slowed.
we will get back to that in a moment, as Aspen's already looked. Dex, you look down and see Pidge and Megan. They are running in front of two closing zombies. There is a river of magma coming from the north to the south. You are the only one that's noticed them, Dex. There's no pixie help. There are no positive pseudo-dragons. Just a kobold. What do you want to do?
How close is the lava to them?
The lava's farther away than the zombies, but it's still about 2 rounds away. It's moving very fast. It moves like with something that's less viscous, so it's flowing like water as opposed to something that's nearly solid. It's rushing.
And how steep are the walls next to the kids? I'm assuming pretty
20.
steep.
20 feet
high.
straight down, yep.
Jesus. I use my spell slots. All I have is rogue. All I have is rogue.
My friend, as a lifelong rogue is all you need.
Yeah. Okay, how close am I to the zombies?
You are 20 feet above them.
Okay. Then I would like to use my action. This isn't technically how the ability works, but grovel, cower, and beg. Once per short rest as an action, I can cower to distract foes. Until the end of your next turn, allies gain advantage on attack rolls against enemies within 10 feet of you that can see you. Now, instead of giving advantage, can I draw the attention of both of these zombies?
Hell yes, you can. But I need you to tell me how you do it. And I'm going to tell you this. You cannot do it from up here.
Yeah. Gonna have to get down there. 20 feet, you said, right? "20 feet. Okay. Can I go back 10 feet and, like, slide down the wall?
So you want to kind of like, what do they call that? Repelling, that face down repelling. You want to do that?
More or less, yeah, I think.
Okay. That was a technical term, by the way. Face down repelling. So I'll be corrected in chat momentarily. But as you want to do that, I need you to make an acrobatics check, and I also want you to take 20 additional honor as you are putting yourself back into a pit with lava and zombies in it.
Dirty 20.
You land directly behind them and tell me how you gain their attention. They're not going to respond to insult, but I'm sure you can think of something.
Whew. I am going to draw out my bag of ball bearings and pour half of it on the ground around me, trying to make as much noise as possible with that, while screaming at them, "Ah, zombies, look at me! I'm so much tastier than those kids! The scales really add to the flavor!"
Apparently they agree as they turn and charge you. But as they do so, they hit the ball bearings. I would like you to make a strength saving throw with advantage as they launch themselves at you.
Still an 8.
So you feel as they hit you, they carry you down. I need you, because there are 2 of them here, to make a dexterity saving throw immediately. And I need you to do so. Let me make sure I get this right. I need you to do so at a DC 15.
Can I use honor to roll that at advantage?
You absolutely can.
Dexterity save, right?
Correct.
That's a 20.
You are still prone, they are still around you, but you're able to fend them off for a moment. We're going to cut real quick. Aspen, roll me a perception check, and I would like 2d20 from Zeph, as the cheer squad is still looking as well.
Can I use my honor to do it at advantage?
No, this is just a randomizer. This
Okay.
is they're literally looking at dozens of these tubes. They're just trying to get the
Right. How 1d20 or 2?
2d20. Yeah, because we already had one group that cast their flies on
Yes, that's right.
Blundertress and Rot.
I am gonna use honor on mine.
10 and 16.
16's a good one.
Okay.
14.
That's good. That's a good one.
Aspen, you still don't see anything, especially a kobold that is underneath 2 of these. However,
But he was shouting.
there's lava and dead people. However, Zeph, you would hear almost an exasperated, like, this is the most work that's been done in a while. We found like 2 kids running, and they're like in front of this lava.
Get them out of there.
Are you sure? They're like really dirty. Okay, fine, yes. So you see as Pidge and Megan lift up out of one of the holes. However, there's no sign of Dex. Let's cut back to Father Strider. Let's see, Veneris, where did we leave you off at? You were still running in the dust, correct?
You're muted, Jordan.
My kids flew off. I am just with my pseudo dragons.
Okay, so I want you to roll a perception check for me right now.
Okay. Perception. I see
So-
so much jam.
Veneris, as you turn to the left to see if you can see something through the swirling dust and steam, a flying centaur goes by your right as you turn back around, and the flying centaur is gone. So roll me an acrobatics, and we will actually, you know what, you have already been out there long enough. You can make it back over to the wall, and with an 8 perception, though, we're just going to say that all you can see is Mother running with Can, Z, and Ketz, and Rock right now.
Okay. As I'm flying, because I doubt I can make it there too quickly, I would like to tell Quartz, Obsidian, and Terry to keep an eye out in case there's any other people left in the caverns, in the pits.
Roll me a perception with advantage. These are pseudo dragons,
Natural 20.
and there is a dragonkin down in the canyon, which is a kobold. And so you'd hear Terry go, we found somebody, boss. There's somebody down in the canyon. They're underneath two of those smelly people.
Immediately flying towards that area.
Okay. Terry, Obsidian, and Quartz they flank out behind Veneris, and you hear in your head as they begin to fly to the pseudo dragons. So as you're zipping in, going after Dex, we're going to cut back to Z, and we're going to cut back to Father Strider. Father Strider, they are still up. Z, they are still up. Father Strider, you have a chance to make an action right here. In fact, let's roll initiative, everybody, to see.
Father's gonna make one hell of a fucking action. You better believe it. Hold on.
Let's roll that.
Initiative 27. Bring it. Let's do this.
Okay, so it's the two of you first. So Strider, and then Zeph, and then the creatures.
Okay, so Father Strider is going to make an attack roll with his quarterstaff on the first one. He's going to get, let's see, so 24 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
that's
hits.
gonna be normal damage plus sneak attack damage. So 16 damage to the first one.
Tell me how one of them disappears, and you have 4 of them.
I literally just knock its head off of its shoulders.
Okay. It's at this point that on the top wall, Neverwinter guards are trying to figure out exactly how much longer they should hold out when 2 of them are in a very passionate conversation. I don't know how much longer we can hold out. We have to hold out. There's more time. And a zombie head goes between them. And the one that was, it's time to go. I agree. It's time to go. And they begin to make moves to evacuate the city.
Thanks to level 5 monk, extra attack. So in a deft motion of after that head flops off of one, I swing the quarterstaff back around, this time with 2 hands, attacking the second zombie. That's a crit. So I'm going to roll damage on that. 9 bludgeoning damage to that one.
That one's still up.
That's fine. Not
But
stressed.
it looks bad.
Okay, so Flurry of Blows,
Sure.
using my bonus action, Flurry of Blows, unarmed strike to the third one.
Is this the one you just hit, or
This is the next one, the
Okay.
third one.
that does
11
not
hit.
hit?
That's
That does
fine,
not hit.
not stressed. Unarmed strike to the fourth one. Is that
That
hit?
does hit. That just hits, yes.
So he roundhouse kicks that one with a 7 bludgeoning to that one.
It is still up as well. Again, these things are cold, they're frozen, they're discombobulated, they don't look that great, but they're up.
Yep, that's fine. Everything is fine. So at that point, on those last 2, I forgot to mention, it was my fault. I need con saves on the last 2, as I'm spending 2 key points, 1 on each one, to force them to do, I'm stunning striking them. First one fails, second one makes it. So
We're going to say that the stunning strike kills the one that had 1 hit point left. So
okay, all right. And then I am going to, with rakish audacity, move away. I know there's a 5th one still up. I'm going to spend 5 honor to get advantage on the strength saving throw. I assume that he's going to attempt to attack me.
correct. So, so at this point, you have killed 1, you have killed 2. There are 3 still up. One of them, you killed 2 of them. We have 3 up. One of them is wounded. You're able to get away from the one, but we have a strength save. Go right ahead. At advantage.
Oh my god.
So after this incredible flurry of martial prowess, everything going on, you see these creatures jump again onto Father Strider and drag him down, Zeph. As they do so, because that is one of their abilities, I need an immediate dex save. This one is a DC 15. You see again, Father Strider, just as a bite gets close to the neck, is able to hold it off. However, you are still prone beneath them as they are dogpiled. But it is Zeph's turn.
Where are all of the kids right now?
It seems... Make a perception check for me.
Okay, hold on. 9.
You see a crowd of them moving towards the gate. You see Mother and you see a couple of the kids.
Okay, I know that.
With a 9, though, I will also tell you there are more shapes heading from the east around the building. Undead shapes. They are a round away.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Question. I know I just rolled a 9, but the ones that were flying, Megan and Pidge, are they on the ground right now?
We're going to say, just so I don't go crazy, all the kids are with Mom now that are out of the pits. So
okay,
thank
you.
That puts Pidge and Megan with Mother. And the group that you saw, when you look, you saw Pidge and Megan drop down with the group. You assume they're all together, and they're heading towards the gate.
Okay, so I don't need to worry about my concentration on the pixies or the pixies' concentration on Fly. So that's all I wanted to know. They're all together, including Robin and Truss.
You rolled a 9 perception.
You just said all of them.
I said you think all of them. There's a lot of steam and smoke.
I am furious at you. Okay.
I'm sure they're up to no plans.
Fine. Then what we're going to do is, excuse me. We are going to conjure animals. And we are going to conjure 2 giant eagles.
Does that get rid of the pixies?
Yes. They're gone.
See ya!
So happy. And I am going to also become a giant eagle myself, but a blue one. And so now we have 3 giant eagles. Huzzah. And 2 of them are going to... Yeah, sure. We should, I guess we should attack some things.
As
Huh?
Madam says, caw, motherfuckers.
Yeah. So the two conjured ones that like aren't real are going to attack, and I am going to be off the ground. And I'm going to wait for Father Strider to help him along. If he needs a lift. If he needs an air evac, that's what I'm waiting to do. Although I
Holding your action for an air evac. Okay.
right.
I'll
And then
allow
the other two are attacking the zombies.
Okay, roll attacks for them.
Okay, I will. I'll do it. I was prepared.
Aspen, go ahead and roll me a perception check as you're flying around in the steam and the smoke and the dirt and the dust. And
13, 24, 18, 18. Then multi-attack.
okay, roll me damage then for all of the 24 and the two 18s.
Great. So that if I double that, that's plus that is 6. Okay, 1 second. So 6. Oh, Jesus. Okay, 16 points of damage. They would be going for whichever ones look injured. I think there are 3 left.
Yes. So that's 16 total.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, everybody would still be up then, but they all look very wounded. But you know, zombies look pretty rough anyway. But they're tearing into them. They don't talk, right? They just caw, right?
They can understand common, but not speak it.
I was about ready to use my Sam the Eagle from the Muppets, but I'll just put that one back. I won't use it. So Aspen, as you're flying around, and as I said, you're Zeph, you're engaged, ready to do whatever you want. We're going to come back to the zombie attack. Aspen, as you are flying around, you don't see anything again. You're it's not that you're just blind. You're picking the wrong things to look into, much like the Pixies had to look in stuff. You're working your way back, but we're going to say at this point, as you're working your way back, you see the flight of Veneris and the 3 pseudo-dragons as they begin to dive into one of the canyons. I'm going to allow you to be 1 round away if you want to catch up with him.
Yes.
Okay. At this point then, this is when we have the creatures attack again, and I am going to need another dex save from the father. This is another DC 15. So, as I've always said...
Can I get out of prone with that nat 20, please, DM?
If you let me finish. I always say that whenever a nat 20 happens, something great happens. When a nat 1 happens, something terrible happens. So, even though technically you'd still be grappled by them, there is an explosion, maybe helped by the eagles, maybe it's just the sheer will of Father Strider, but you are able to free yourself from underneath them and again kind of kip up to your feet as the old father is standing there, you know, battered, bloodied, but not undead, as you are able to somehow get out of another zombie dog pile. And as a freebie for a nat 20, I will let you know that there is at least 50 of them about a round away.
Oh, sweet. So, like, is
Charging
it my turn to move, or?
This is all that are attack. You're able to kip up and get out of the way as you're standing there. They're still looking at you. You're looking at them. There's eagles flying around. Zeph is flying there waiting for an air evac. That will be triggered in just a moment as we go back to Dex, and I'm going to ask Dex the same thing. I need a DC 10 Dex saving throw. Dex.
Gonna use honor just to be safe. I'm happy I did.
Great idea. As again, you're able to fight this off, and for a moment, Dex, as you feel these things pressing against your small body, you hear, you're not sure how, but you hear, perhaps it's just a residual, kind of like a shared consciousness. You hear, and you look up and you see these 3 small dragons coming in, and Veneris, whose wings are tucked to his side. Veneris, what would you like to do? You have a sneak attack on the 2 zombies that are on top of Dex. You also have lava coming in, but don't worry about that.
Well, I've got this nifty thing called Eldritch Blast. I'd like to fire one at each of these zombies.
Sure.
Does being with this being a sneak attack, does that give me any advantages, any bonuses?
We'll say that they did not hear the music as you approach.
Perfect.
So yeah, we'll give you advantage on all this because I like the idea of it.
Natural 20 on one.
That's a good one.
And then a 24 on the second.
Okay, well, roll that natural 20 damage.
7.
Yay! Okay. So yeah, you're able to blast them.
And then the other one takes 9, somehow doing better than the 20. But there's this great thing that I can do with my Eldritch Blast, and that is, I believe it's called Repelling Blast. Both of these are not 10 feet backwards. And off of my good pal Dexter.
Okay. So, as they get blasted back, they do, in fact, Dex, you're down there waiting for the end, and then your hands push free, as you look up, and a pseudo-dragon lands on your chest and says, "Hi, my name's Terry, and you're lucky to be alive. We're friends now, which is great. So come on, let's go."
Yeah, I'm gonna get up, yep. And these things are 10 feet away from me right now, yeah?
They're not in melee. Veneris knocked them out of melee with you.
Thank you very, very much. I'm just gonna run up. Actually, no, I know the lava is coming. Another nature check to see if there's a good way to parkour up again.
I will tell you this, because I have just absolutely loved everything that you all have done in this. Aspen, roll me an acrobatics check as you arrive on the scene.
Can it be athletics instead?
No, I'm nice, but not that nice.
And I just roll a d20 instead.
Hell no! Roll that acrobatics.
Oh, I have 5 on her. Advantage. I guess.
Do it. Yeah, please.
16.
It was a 12 DC. So with the astral wings in place, Aspen goes down, and you are able to evac out Dex from the canyon as everyone takes to the top. We're going to say that this group of Veneris, of Dex, and of Aspen make it to the gates. The gates are safety. As you make it to the gates, you have survived the Fall of Faerun. But let's cut back out to Father Strider and Zeph as we have 50 zombies bearing down on them. And they are here. They are going to roll separate initiative.
Come on.
They begin to charge in. And this, my friends, is why sometimes you let kids be kids. Roll a perception check, Father Strider and Zeph.
That was my first roll of this campaign, too.
Perfect. So, none of you notice as the steam and the
Wait,
smoke...
I have advantage because I'm an eagle. You hold your horses, sir.
Go right ahead.
22!
Love it. I couldn't love it anymore. Okay. As you almost miss this, Zeph, as you are looking around trying to figure out how to get Father Strider up, Father Strider kicks away a couple of these, jumps back, and is able to, but there's a horde that is descending. Again, the ice storm not in effect in this area. There are green motes beginning to come out of everywhere. But just as you turn, the steam and the smoke and the dust on ground level goes by and clears for a moment. And there, kneeling on the ground, is Robin and his Truss. Truss has a pair of goggles on. Robin's wearing a helmet. You're not sure where any of these items came from, but on both of their shoulders, set up very World War II bazooka style, is in fact a bazooka. And as Blunder Truss the gnome reaches up and snaps a flint strike and lights a pack of the deputy's gunpowder that he stole off of the horse, of which no one saw and nobody stopped the several times which you could have easily kept this from happening, you see a psss, and I would like you to roll a D100 for me, Zeph.
What do I want to get? High, right? Yeah, high. Is this also random?
Oh no.
Oh, cool. So I can use my honor?
Hell no. This is
I
just
only have 5 and I haven't used it all day.
Gnomes, man.
Okay. Yeah, heart attack.
75 to 100 is maximum damage. As you see, and as it goes off, you hear Blunder Truss scream, "Yeah!" as it rockets through the air. We cut. It's the following morning. You had survived the night. You are on the north side of Neverwinter. The city is falling, but the defenses that were put up by people like the crazy dwarf Minehide and some of the other city planners have bought enough time for the groups to begin to move north towards the door. The last of the fortresses that is seeming to protect the north and the ice for any refugees as long as is possible. The door is where you are headed. It is now out of your hands as you are moving in a large group of refugees. But as all of you stand looking at one another, as all of the kids stand looking at one another, one voice speaks in a very strange, sing-songy way because it's never really spoken before, as Blunder Truss describes what had happened.
Well, you see, I knew that there would be a way for us to have a projectile that would be able to fire from this tube, and as it did, we were able to free the father from the undead horde, and, it worked.
And Robin turns to Zeph. For a moment, we go around to each of our survivors, and I would like one sentence to describe what this morning means to each of you. Let us start with Veneris.
Oh. It means the world that my family is safe.
Auntie.
Holy shit! Most kobolds die when they do that!
Audrey.
Extra week would have been enough. But now we have forever.
Jason.
Not today, death. Not today.
Roll a perception check. Father Strider, you are in your thoughts, and you don't hear the Mick Jagger devil say, but soon. And Zeph, Lauren, just as Robin turns around and gives you the thumbs up, because you were the one that could have taken all of this away from them. You could have taken away the ability for them to have this little weapon that was, in every zombie movie and book, there's a super weapon. And in mine, it was the invention of Blunder Truss and Robin. It could have been taken away, it could have been augmented, but this is what we had for this story. And it was there. Lauren?
So her last thoughts then would have to be, yeah, I'm not just a normal mom. I'm like a cool mom.
And as Robin looks at you, and in the morning light, his skin is maybe a little bluer than had been noticed before. A hue a bit similar to Zeph's. And as we pull back from this scene of these heroes that had saved every child under their care, that had been able to carry all of these children, and as the sunrise creeps over, sunrise that reminds of a barbarian. There is a whir and a little bit of smell of a gunpowder or a wisp of sulfur that reminds of an artificer. And there is a gleaming badge worn by Rock that reminds of a deputy. And in this morning, a family absent and present are together, and their story, for the moment, is over. And that is where we will end this story of the Fall of Faerun. Fantastic, my friends. Fantastic. Everybody using honor the way I had envisioned it. Everybody getting those helps when needed from Legion. But this was all you all. And you did it fantastically. So, let's go around and talk to everybody as you escaped my death trap yet again. You saved all the kids. Let's go in reverse order, and we'll start with Lauren. Lauren, how are you, my friend, and where can we find you online?
I'm great. Once again, Greg can't seem to kill me, and it's a badge I wear with honor. I'm not saying that he's not willing to, I'm saying that he's incapable of it. I feel very safe doing it right now when the campaign's over and not at any other time. This was a blast. I'm so happy. I'm Lauren. I'm Not Salty Ginger over on Twitter. I'm part of the creative team here at Tales from the Grim. We are starting an Urban Shadows campaign this Monday at 9 Eastern. We'll be doing our session 04 Bad Moon Rising with Greg and Kiana and Allison Robinson and Avery and Tommy. Super excited for that. So see you then.
Fantastic, fantastic. And my new friend Audrey. Audrey, how are you? How did you like your time in the apocalypse? And I think I speak for the majority of the Legion. Aspen was loved. And like I said, champion of happiness. How are you, my friend?
I am so happy. This was so much fun. I never expected to still be around for this session. So thank you to the Legion who saved my butt twice. Well, more than twice, because with other things, but big saves twice. And yeah, I am at Audrey Arcana on Twitter. You can check me out there. I do different stuff all the time. So yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. And as Aspen survives, so do the possibilities of future stories. So we need to put a pin in all that. As we go over to my friend who has taken the stigma and the curse of the ejection seat, has torn it asunder, sprinkled it with sage, rolled it up, and smoked the curse, and then snuffed it out. Auntie, my friend, how are you? And congratulations for doing that voodoo that you do so well.
Thank you, Gray. There were probably a good 5 or 6 moments there when I was fully expecting to just die. And I completely meant it when, most kobolds die doing this. I don't know how I'm still here, and that wasn't even a legion. I don't think I got a single thing this episode. That was just the dice wanting me alive, I guess. And that astounds me. But I'm happy I made it. I'm happy I broke the curse of this spot, and I'm happy for Dex to still be alive because I'm really enjoying this character.
Absolutely. I enjoyed the shit out of Dex too. I'm gonna have to add that because once again, like I said, I always have t-shirt and bumper sticker moments, and Champion of Happiness is fantastic. I also think the image of the little kobold Dex running up an avalanche is something dope as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
With zombies being crushed behind him, which is just perfect. Thank you, my friend, and we will go over to my other friend, Jordan. Jordan, you made it. Veneris made it. From the cellar to the north and all points in between and fighting a black dragon, you made it. Congratulations, my friend, and where can we find you?
Thank you. You can find me at Jordan Kawachi at Twitter. I am so very, very thankful to have been a part of this. This was absolutely amazing. I never imagined that I would actually make it this far in the campaign. To have survived this long, I'd like to thank the Legion. You all are absolutely amazing for getting us out of so many tough spots, and tonight has been just incredible. To the other players at this table, you guys have all done an absolutely incredible job. I hope to play with you guys again soon. Who knows? Maybe it'll happen in this same universe since we all survived.
We'll see. As we go to the person that absolutely should have died this episode. Several times should have died, should right now be clawing at the walls of Neverwinter with a murderous undead lust. But they didn't, because they're alive. Jason, Father Strider, is still among the living. Well played, my friend, well played. Where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me at JasonTDNDM on Twitter. I have a huge charity stream event coming up starting in just a couple weeks. Less than a couple weeks. Time is ticking away, which Greg and several members of Tales from the Grim will be participating in. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I fully expected death there at the end. So I was like, fuck it, let's do this. I'm ready. Father's ready to die. But yeah, I guess the dice said not today. So here we are. Father Strider still a thorn in your side.
Well, not mine. I enjoyed the shit out of that. So with that being said, I will say the following. Jason called it before this even happened. The survivors of this will be visited again. We will visit them again to see at some point in the future what the next leg of this curse holds for the survivors of Waterdeep. The kids will return, Mother will return, provided one thing happens. The door, the fortress to the north, the last bastion of the living from the dead. This is the Castle Black, if you will, the wall of the Fall of Faerun. currently has defenders on it. These defenders must hold the door for as long as they possibly can. These defenders will be made up of Legionnaires. Staffin, Will Avery, Rage, and a couple of our other friends from the community will show up. They are going to fight and see how long they can hold the door, hopefully long enough for our group to make it through. Stay tuned to see exactly when that happens, because it will, and I will also give you a little bit of a spoiler. There is a devil that looks like Mick Jagger that has way more to do to this than just being a pain in your ass. They will also be showing up. So I have enjoyed this immensely. I love the Legion. I love the community. I'm blessed to be a part of it. Thank you all for tuning in and watching on YouTube. It's been just a lot of fun. The Forgotten Realms, absolutely. I love it. It's just so full of material, and to be able to destroy it isn't fun, but at the same time, it's interesting to have a place that you know well in a different setting, in a different format, and a different veil. And it's been quite a bit of fun. A couple fun things coming up here on the channel. The aforementioned Bad Moon Rising we have, which I am super duper stoked to play. We have Sky Chasers that is coming on Sundays. It is a 1950s X-File Cthulhu type of show. That's going to be DM'd by Charlie, Frost from Fire. We also have the second episode of May Black Roses Bloom next Wednesday, as we Sir Reardon will be back. And I got my armor, so I've got some new armor I'm going to be wearing. A lot of fun things coming up here. We're going to have Return of Dungeon of the Mad Mage very soon. We're going to tackle a little bit of that, but to take what Jason said about the charity event, I am very privileged and honored to run something for Jasper's Game Day. It is going to be a level 2 adventure, and it is called The Dauntless and the Petulant Child. And it's a sea little thingamabobber. It's going to be really fun, and I'm having a whole big time blast putting it together. So I can't wait to run that one. I think it's a week from Tuesday, 8 to 12. That should be super fun. Great table there. Please check it in, donate if you can. It's going to be a blast. But until next time, let me say, for all my fantastic, give me cheers in chat. This group is fantastic. They are super fun. The people that sat in the Doom chair were also fantastic, as we had some of the best folks around in Mal and Levi and Cap, who died to save these kids and get this group where it is. Fantastic. Can't wait. And Big Trouble is coming soon too. But until next time, my friends, as the campfire goes down, there's only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s unless you're this fucking group, but you can always role play. We'll see you next time, friends.